But if you begin to change who you think you are, if you begin to take on a witness kind of point of view, if you begin to look at the whole thing as drama from a bigger perspective, then you see that you're no longer even desire to make things change because you are what's changing.
Dr. Pert, why do
Talk about that New York Times article.
Why do smart people do dumb things?
Why do smart people do dumb things?
That's the brain, isn't it?
Because, no, it's maybe the spinal cord. Because they were young children once, and things happened to them, and Freud had a concept called reenactment, whereby we tend to go back and try to reenact things that sort of traumatized us a long time ago. So even very smart people were once stupid little children that had bad things happen to them, and they, until their consciousness, until those memories can bubble up to consciousness, and you can do it with psychotherapy. Takes a little too much time.
What about a factor you can't control, like a disease, JC? Cancer. You can't control cancer.
I disagree with that, because I believe that the ability of the brain and our ability to access it properly to produce the mind, that essentially the concept mind over matter, that we produce a powerful mind, we can cure our own cancer. I mean, the whole act of the placebo act, you have to take all these placebos in a drug test, because if you believe it cures you, it will. And it's the same concept. We have an amazing, untapped ability inside of us. And as Dean Radin said here, that we create, even affect the external activity, the external reality. We affect the physical reality as well. We affect our body. Our DNA hears everything we think. Our DNA is based upon our thought patterns in general. If we evolve them, we change the disease.
Dean, the lab has never created a brain, has it?
Not yet.
We're going to take a break and come back with our remaining moments with Candace Pert, Dean Radin, J.Z. Knight, and Dr. Fred Alan Wolf. Don't go away.
If reality is my possibility of consciousness itself, then immediately comes the question of how can I change it? How can I make it better? How can I make it happier? You see how we are extending the image of ourselves? In the old thinking, I cannot change anything because I don't have any role at all in reality. Reality is already there. It's material objects moving in their own way from deterministic laws. And mathematics determines what they will do in a given situation. In the new view, I choose that experience. And therefore, literally, I create my own reality.
Dr. Wolf, why can't we create a brain?
Well, we're trying. Right now, there's a whole new field which is developing called quantum computing. Very mysterious sounding things. But what it has to do with is using computers that can choose realities rather than being chosen by the users. Because quantum computers work with the idea that things aren't so firmly decided. They work with things which are called qubits, which are capable of being in any state rather than just being on or off. So I think the next step in creating artificial intelligence will be through this new advent of this new field called quantum computing.
Dr. Pert wanted to say something about the cancer angle.
Well, I was just going to say my focus is health, and what we're talking about here is really a new way of thinking that
then will make you healthier if you...
Yeah, there is ample data that what we believe can come true, particularly about our bodies. But I just wanted to say that the most important cause of cancer has nothing to do with what thoughts you're thinking. It's the pollutants in the environment, the plasticizers, and that has to. I want to be very clear about that. But
Dr. Radin, you wrote a book called Entangled Minds, right?
Right.
Are they untangling?
No, they're still entangled and probably will remain so.
You think we're ever going to really make a leap where most of society, this is strange, can be happy? The betting is most of society's unhappy.
That's,
They don't like the job, they don't like the wife, they
Yeah.
don't like the husband, they don't like...
They don't like themselves.
yeah. I think
First,
That's the root of it. They don't like themselves because they don't know who they are.
and given the way that civilization is constructed right now, I'm not sure that we can achieve that. We may need to evolve into a new human in order to achieve that level.
No, I think we have to go backwards to the way we once were. Do you know what the biggest predictor of longevity is?
What?
How many people that you speak to every day, how many people you know. So it's really
The
about
more you live,
the more people that you are in contact with, the longer you live.
hermits die early.
You would predict that.
People, do we have a compulsion toward unhappiness, Jay-Z?
Yes, we do.
You know, there's
And
another
like
point
Candace
here.
said, like Candace pointed out, that we're wired for bliss, but we have a compulsion to it because we're insecure about what we are. We don't know if we are secure. We're insecure with our reality. We don't know what we are.
Yeah.
We don't know
Dr.
how we are.
Dr. Wolf, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to say that one of the big things is we all are recognizing that we're going to die. We have this death thing that we're going to pass out of this body, and that's the big bugaboo. So the thing is, if we can begin to look at who we are, what we are, then even death itself may not have the fear that it has over us. And I think once that hurdle has been overcome, I think that happiness is a state that can be achieved.
Well said. Jay-Z, are you optimistic?
Very. I think people are wonderful. I think we're all remarkable. I mean, if people just knew how remarkable they really were, our world would evolve very quickly. Our civilization would evolve very quickly. I am very optimistic because I think we're in such a pickle now. People are really endeavoring to find answers, solutions to the problems that we're facing today as a whole world, 6.5 billion of us.
And world events don't make you pessimistic.
Oh, no, because
People killing people don't make you pessimistic.
it's a sad story that's been going on for a long, long time, and at the root of that has always been religion and special interest. And that's disheartening. When we evolve beyond both of those, we're going to find that our respect for life is going to grow. And we belong to the future then, not to the past.
Quick tip now. If somebody makes you really unhappy and you're driven toward them, it's a relationship that's not beneficial to you, what should you do?
If that person is in my life, it is an aspect of myself. You only get in your life. This is what the Ram taught. You only have people, places, things, times, and events in your life that reflect you. You can only see in another person the identity of yourself. So if another person is very unhappy and is coming towards me or very angry, that aspect is in me. So the solution is in me first, then the answer into them.
I totally agree with what Jay-Z is saying here, because what we do is we look for our own reflections in the out there world, and then we look at them so they can reflect back to us something of our nature that's been in the shadow.
We're out of time. Jay-Z, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Jay-Z Knight, Dr. Dean Radin, Dr. Candace Pert, and Dr. Fred Allen Wolf, thank you all very, very much for this